Welcome back. The International Council of Shopping Centers says the current sales tax framework is outdated. The organization is pushing Congress to give states the ability to require online retailers to collect sales taxes at the point of purchase. The CEO of the ICSC, Michael Kercheval, joins me in studio. Sir, welcome to Bottom Line. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
How much in uncollected sales tax is currently due to internet and catalog sales?
$23 billion.
That's a staggering amount of money.
It's a staggering amount of money. That's what's not been collected. We estimate in 2012, due to this leakage of out-of-state pure online retailers where sales tax is not collected.
I would imagine that the brick and mortar stores are not too happy about this.
You know what, they're devastated, and the industry is really devastated by this situation. It's a simple price equation. The brick and mortar retailers, when they build their bottom line price to the consumer, they have to build in the sales tax.
Yeah.
If you're buying it on an online only retailer out of state, they don't have to do it. They don't have to show the sales tax. You still owe it, you still have to pay it, but they don't have to build it into the price. That's where the problem is, that's where the inequity is, and that's really what this legislation that we're working so hard on is all about.
Let's talk about that. The online sales tax loophole, that's the result of a 1992 Supreme Court ruling, Quill Corporation versus North Dakota.
That's
and for
right.
those who aren't familiar with it, and I wasn't until I read up on it today, the decision exempted mail order merchants from collecting sales taxes for sales into states where the retailer did not have a physical presence. Talk to us about how that loophole has affected state budgets.
Well, it has absolutely affected state budgets. I think the other component of that is when this decision was handed down 2 decades ago, this was during the time of catalog sales, and I don't think they envisioned internet sales like we have today. And this was really because it was difficult for a catalog company to figure out what the sales taxes were in a different state. So that's why that decision was made. In that decision, they also said Congress has the power, Congress has the authority to allow states to require out-of-state online-only retailers to collect sales taxes and remit them back.
Which is where your organization is
Exactly right.
taking the fight, along with 140 businesses, trade associations, shopping centers. You've sent letters to Washington State Senator Patty Murray and Texas Congressman Jeb Hensarling. They're co-chairs of the Joint Select Committee on Deficit Reduction. You're looking for an e-fairness provision. What would that entail?
It's fair because what it does is it puts brick and mortar retailers and online only retailers on a level playing field. Right now, there looks like a price disparity between the two. It puts them on a level playing field. That's why it's fair. In terms of the fiscal impact for the communities and the states, these are lost revenues that are due that are not being collected. And you see what you're seeing happening right now, you lose the sales tax, you got to raise the property tax. You have to make up those local revenues somehow. That's the implication from the state's fiscal standpoint.
You say that this loophole is affecting or threatening jobs. How?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're seeing it now. We're seeing small retailers close down because of this. They can't compete on this price disparity. That's impacting shopping center owners, shopping center companies, and it's impacting cities. It's impacting towns. You're seeing vacancies on Main Street as well as in shopping centers.
Any towns where you're seeing the most impact?
Well, you know, really across America, you're seeing it. And wherever you have a lot of job losses, you see the greatest impact. A retail establishment selling $1 million of retail sales, a brick and mortar store, creates 4 jobs. Online only retailers, less than 1 job for every $1 million of sales. It's a direct correlation to jobs lost and I would say potential job creation by closing this, your words, loophole.
Mr. Kercheval, is this a big deal to consumers? Do they really even notice that this is going on? And would a reversal in the status quo mean that they are less likely to even shop online?
The consumers owe the taxes now. There are consumers who are paying those taxes. They have to keep their receipts. They have to file it in their state income tax at the end of the year. It's really an undue burden on the consumers. So it doesn't change the pricing. It shouldn't change the metric. What we're really interested in is making sure there's a level playing field for all retailers, online, brick and mortar. Let them compete on, sure, price, but also quality, service, convenience, and take whether sales tax is collected at the time of sale or not out of the equation. And let's restore those fiscal balances to communities. And finally, what this does is it gives the power back to the states to collect those taxes. It's a states' rights issue as much as anything.
Are you optimistic that Congress is going to act on this? There's been so much partisanship, but I noticed that the letter was sent to a Democrat and to a Republican. Are you hopeful?
Very hopeful. We have wide bipartisan support. It's no longer a matter of if, it's all a matter of when. Maybe when they come back from recess, maybe after the election, maybe early on in the year, but it's going to happen. It's the 21st century retail model.
I have to ask you before you go an overall retail question. Christmas is going to be here sooner than people think. What's your outlook for sales?
Right. We're in the middle of the back-to-school season.
Yeah, how's that going, by the way?
It's looking reasonably good, both at online stores and at brick-and-mortar stores. It's looking reasonably good. It's solid. Our sales numbers for July just came out, up 4.6% on a year-over-year basis. Those are comp store sales for chain stores. And for the full year, we're expecting, again, positive increase over 2011. So a reasonably good Christmas year, but it's a wild card, what happens in the election and many other places.
In about 15 seconds, are you hopeful that maybe within the next year and a half, 2 years, the consumer is going to be back in the driver's seat and propelling this economy forward?
We're seeing it happen. We're seeing it happen. I'm beyond hopeful. I'm optimistic that that's going to happen. And I think we'll get our house in order. And this is an important piece of fixing the problems that we have right now.
Michael Kercheval, he's the CEO of the International Council of Shopping Centers, joining us in studio. Mr. Kercheval, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.